round 16 of season 5 of the Formula 1 2018 World Championship. We'll go through what's been happening over the past couple of races, who's on top and all that in the championship in a minute. And you can see them. We're just taking a look at the track layout before we get started. And of course, this is one of the more newer tracks on the Formula 1 calendar. So yeah, we'll go through all the stats and what to expect around this 5.8 kilometer circuit. Of course, 3.6 miles long, 18 turns. Of course, we got a lap record of a 1 minute 36, and that current lap record holder is from Kimi Raikkonen in 2017. And of course, the track difficulty is classed as easy, but I think that might be, but in terms of driving the track, I suppose that is correct, but not in terms of trying not to pick up penalties and all sorts. Of course, we'll also recap of what happened in the Elite League last night. And to be honest, it was a tale of woe and triumph, wasn't it? Last night it was a very, very intense race and a great race as well. We'll go through that as well in just a second. Of course, you can see we're on the home stretch now of both the Elite and Super Leagues. Of course, we are in Russia tonight, Japan, of course, next week, followed by USA, Mexico, Brazil, and then the finale in Abu Dhabi. Of course, we'll have the finale in Abu Dhabi. Looking forward to, because I think that we're going to have a bit of a it's usually a course for celebration, so we're going to have all sorts of fun in Abu Dhabi. But of course, so this is but we're at the serious end of the championship now, so there's no fun going to be had tonight. Well, you would hope so, because this is meant to be for fun after all. You can see the tyre selection there. We got the hyper soft, the ultra soft, and the soft tyre. So there's a step missing between the ultra soft and soft. So that usually causes a interesting race when there's a step difference in the compounded tyres. Intermediate and wets, possibly needed around Russia, because in the past I have found, especially in career mode, that it's usually a wet race. So yeah, but do we want a wet race? Well, to us, it doesn't spice up the things, does spice up the racing. But to be honest, I don't think we need the racing spiced up at all. To be fair, do we? It's been absolutely splendid so far. And we're just going to have a quick look to see what's going on in the championships in just a second. Let me just make sure that the stream's all up and all ready to go, and I do my usual jazz of just making sure that I've shared the link out and about, and we'll go from there. So yeah, apologies for last night. You can see that I don't do very well under pressure. So it was all sorts going on last night. I didn't go in spectator mode. I also used some not so pleasant language as well at the beginning, which to be honest wasn't very good at all. So apologies if anyone got offended by that, but yeah, hopefully all is forgiven, and hopefully we'll have a great race here tonight. We're just waiting for a couple more drivers to come in, and whilst that's going on, I'm just sharing the link to make sure that all the runners and riders will be sharing this tonight. So we're hoping that some of the elite guys will be watching as well. They had an absolutely outstanding race last night. To be honest, I must admit I did voice my displeasure at Formula 1 at this game of unfortunately having the pit lane glitch, which cost us, in my opinion, some of you may not agree with me, but I think cost us an absolutely outstanding battle at the top of the race between two McLarens. We two McLarens and the two Ferraris in the Force India. So of course the two Ferraris, Sam Sturr, Slim, Vanquish, and we had in the McLarens we had Deneen, and also I think it was Jamie as well in the second McLaren. So we had both of them two fighting it out at the top, which well, we would have had a 5-way battle if it wasn't for the pit lane glitch, which is a bit of a shame really. But a great debut there for Deneen. Absolutely outstanding drive for Samster as well. Of course, he had a drive-through penalty missed by us on the stream as we was talking to Kyle at the time. As you can see, then we've got 15 drivers, and we're all just getting ready to go here in Sochi. And let's just take a quick look at the recap of the championship. well, there's no prizes here. That was pun intended. For as prize Kumquat is now leading the championship by over a win now, in terms of he's now got a 36-point lead over second place Blas. Blas is a DNF in a Singapore has really cost him. Of course, Blas has been very consistent this year, but Kumquat has now just gone to an absolute new level. Since that DNF in Austria, he has just really stepped up his game, hasn't he? He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins in 6 races, and he's had a third. And of course, he also won before Austria as well as in France as well. So that was immense. Up until that race in France, of course, he only won one of the first 7 races, and that was back in Bahrain. He's Kumquat has had a lot of DNFs this season. So, but Blas has been there or thereabouts all the way through the season with consistency. Hunter is 62 points back. It's a bit of an outside chance now. Unfortunately for Hunter. But 62 points, anything can happen. And then we've got Not That Bad, who is in 4th position. Unfortunately, DNF in Singapore has really put pay to his championship hopes as well. Yeah, and then we've got Dan Murphy, who is in 5th position. 6th position we've got Roscoe, then we've got Rocket Tony 7th, Matt in 8th, we've got Steve in 9th, and Asdog has moved himself into the top 10 after a very good result in Singapore. In the constructors, we do have the Force India team, who were leading the way by 108 points. And so great team effort by Force India this year. As Knowles, he's done a very good job, and of course he was partnered by Rocket Tony, but Rocket Tony's had a couple of issues with his pedals lately, which is why he hasn't completed the season, unfortunately. So, but we're looking forward to seeing Rocket Tony back next season. We have got Mercedes in 2nd position, a very strong team of Matt and Dan Murphy there. So they've done very well this season. We got McLaren in 3rd position. 4th is Toro Rosso. 5th is Ferrari. 6th is Renault. Haas 7th. 8th is Physico. 8th is Williams. 9th position is Red Bull, and 10th position is the Sauber team. And just to make everyone aware, that we've got FA making his debut in Super League tonight. So of course, FA, some of our regular viewers know, FA has been in the Elite League. So we're wishing him all the best. And he had a bit of a tough race last night. So hopefully he can have a bit of a better race today. I'm not sure, and I think that I've just read in the chat that there is a possibility of having a wet race. They might be leading me on there, but yeah, so that'll be very interesting then. Anyway, we're in Q1. We are looking to eliminate the 5 slowest cars, which will be usually 20th down to 16th. So this is more of a practice session. This is, rather than because I don't think I'm going to lose anyone, because we've already got 15 drivers through. I'm watching Didymus, who is in the Red Bull, replacing Dave Shaw tonight. So of course, as Dave will be hopefully coming back for the fairly soon for the final stretch of the Super League. So we're on board Didymus at the moment in the Red Bull. Who else have we got out there? He's on the Hypersofts at the moment, going through the signature corner around here of turn 3. Nice helmet there from Didymus. We've also got Todd out there. Of course, he made his debut back in Hungary, I believe it was, in the Renault. And of course, we've got Physico as well, who is in the Williams. So I think he's the sole representative for Williams tonight. And that's a nice helmet as well from Physico in the Williams end. So at the moment, then this is kind of more of a shakedown. This is, so we're back on board with Didymus. Who was the first one? I think Gorilla was the first one around in the Renault. We're on board with him now, and I think he's still sporting the classic Niki Lauda helmet, which is a very nice touch there from Gorilla. Now he's coming into the final sector now. This track hasn't been on the Formula 1 calendar for a reasonable stretch. 2014 he made his debut, and of course I think I pointed out in the show last night that Russia, to be honest, it's not one of your favourite tracks in the world, but I must admit, in league terms, it does produce some amazing racing. Indeed, and last night we certainly had that. We, as I keep saying, unfortunately, we were robbed of a 5-way battle, I believe, for the race win last night, because the McLarens would have been on the Hypersofts in the last stretch of the race, whilst the front three of Samster, Slim, and Vanquish were all on the Autosoft tyres. So yeah, it's kind of. I reckon they were going to meet in the middle, just on board them with Gorilla and making his way around the first sector there. So this is just to it's kind of a shakedown. This is just to see how the car feels, and just see how the car feels, and just getting themselves up to temperature. In the last race, unfortunately, not that bad. But Gorilla did come together a couple of times, but I think it was no further action really. So. And of course, in the end, it was a bit of a pilot underneath the grandstand in Singapore as well, wasn't it? And unfortunately, Gorilla there just kind of clipped the inside of the barrier and spun around in it. It's a bit too, it seemed like a bit too close there, they couldn't avoid them. So, which is a shame. So now just on board now, we're looking through the final sector now. The off-camber left-hander there, then going into the right-hander. And then we've got two 90-degree right angles to finish the lap off. And you can have as long as you get across the line, any means necessary, because look how close the line is, it almost comes straight at you. 132.9 there for Gorilla. So good opening up there. Didymus is coming into the pits, so he's not too happy with that. What about Physico then? So Physico should be next to come across the line if he doesn't abandon his lap. And of course, he's just coming through the front. So Gorilla's the first man to set a time. What about Physico? He comes across the line as well. He's in the 33s, but I think he's cut a corner. That is one of the that's one of the trademarks about this track, is if you can. It's very easy to cut corners here, isn't it? As just on board then with Physico, he's starting his second lap now. You can see that is one of the prime corners. Lovely camera angle here. Amazing stuff around turn 3. Of course, as we said, this is the Singer. Oh, and that's a car off. That's Sven off, and he's into the barrier in turn 3. We've just seen him on board there. So Sven is out of qualifying, and that is a big blow. That is, because really you would have been through if you just kept out of the wall there. So Sven is out of qualifying already, and that is a big blow there for Sven. He's done with Roman Grosjean by the looks of just kind of looks like he might have half spun and then try to catch it, and unfortunately he's oh dear, and unfortunately he's might have caught a snap of oversteer, and he's going straight into the barrier. Not that bad, it's just set a decent time there. It's a 1:32.6 there. Penny has just gone up into third position in the Sauber. Matthew is in fourth position on soft tyres, so the hardest compound here in Russia, on a 1:40.0. We're just watching Physico complete his lap now on the Williams. He's a sole Williams tonight, as we said before. But yeah, that's well, you're flying sector 1. Hopefully it's no one out on an adventure. What about double then? So double's now just coming across the line now. And Physico goes third fastest at the moment in the Williams. So you can talk about 2 DRS zones. Of course, we've got one just in the middle of turn 1. Coming out of turn 1, ends right up to this point here. You see, that's where the corner cut to go that wide. And of course, we've also got one on the back straight, which is anything but a straight. And we're at the point where Sven lost it. So Sven lost it just about here. And wow, see, that's quite disappointing for Sven. Finally broken into the top 10 now. So he's coming around the final couple of corners now. So let me quickly. So let me just quickly get up this stream, man, and then we there we go. Hopefully, as Asdog is now going for a time now. So excellent stuff. Right, I'm organised. Let's go. It only took me 8 minutes in the session. So Asdog there just starting to come through turn 3 then. The beauty about turn 3 is it's a great corner, but it's not only that though. You can There's a Blas there who goes up into first position on a 1:31 fight. He did a good shout out. Let's give Blas a decent shout out because Didymus is out in sector 2. That is not good. Didymus then is oh dear, that's so we've lost 2 drivers. We've lost both Red Bulls, unfortunately. Red Bulls are 9th in the constructors at the moment. It's hoping for a decent, hoping for a stronger weekend, but unfortunately that's not going to happen now. We're on board with Mansdog getting a huge 3 times out. So yeah, it's a bit hard then for the as Effie goes second fastest, of course, and that's on ultra soft tyres. So good time there from Effie. 1:32.4. He's 9 tenths away from Blas. So. Of course, FA is a elite regular, and the Blas, who is a super regular, of course, drove an elite last night, and good job there from Blas. Good shout out, just giving a good shout out. But we're on board with Asdog now, coming for the final couple of corners in the half. He's the sole Haas representative tonight, and he comes across the line, and this is a 1:32.1, and he goes up into second fastest. On board with Hunter, he's the sole Ferrari. Unfortunately, Koga can't join us tonight. As of course Hunter is similar then to Broke Gorilla. He's also got his in the number 70 Ferrari. He's got his Nicky Lauda tribute helmet on as he comes through the final couple of corners. Now of course the 2 at 90 right-handers, and you can have a scrappy final corner really as long as you get it across the line. And he is starting his lap now. Pretty more invalidated somewhere. This track is very hard to, very easy to invalidate. That Bob knows he comes across the line. He's also going again. On board Roscoe, he is. We got a lot of cars around this section of the track. There's I think that's Blas who's just trying to overtake. I think. See how else like that. FA in third position, about 4th, Gorilla 5th, Physico 6th, Double 7th, 8th position is Penny 9th as Matt, who's going around on the soft tyres, so he's just trying to get a feel for those soft tyres. Roscoe is now starting his lap now. Prize is also on a lap, he's a 10th down. Murphy is on the back straight, and Hunter's in the middle of the middle sector then. So we're on board then with Murphy then. His teammate who's just going around on the soft tyre at the moment. Got a yellow flag in sector 3, so that's our dog just getting out of the way. So remember, you've got to be very aware around the circuit. As we said, it's just over 3 miles. It's 3 miles is track length is, but you somehow or other they usually find each other, don't they? This pit lane is also very awkward. You've seen last night. We'll talk about that in a minute because Murphy goes second fastest on a 1:32 flat there. Decent time there from Murphy on the Hypersoft tyres there, so he's half a second away from Blas at the moment. Fitz goes the tyre from the session, what about Hunter then? He comes across the line now, so he has done a 1:32, so he is 6th fastest at the moment. Broke Gorilla is going to start a lap now. What about Roscoe? Roscoe's just finished. What about Prize, who's the championship leader at the moment? He is just behind his teammate at the moment, and he is 5th fastest. And finally Roscoe then, so Roscoe then in the McLaren, again the sole in the McLaren as well. We've got quite a few missing tonight, but don't worry about that. It's about quality, not quantity. Roscoe comes across the line now, and he's done a 1:31.9. Good time there from Roscoe. He goes up to second fastest. Decent stuff then. So we've got 6 minutes to go. Well, over 6 minutes to go, I should say. So we're going to just follow Gorilla, who was starting up. So here he is, and just going around the he's just seen the flash in the background of one of the Olympic buildings. I don't. Was that the cycle centre? Perhaps. I'm not very good by Olympics, I must say. I do like watching the athletics though, because I think that I remember watching. Whoa! No, I thought Broke Gorilla was going into the wall. Then, of course, this is the second DRS zone here. Of course, Gorilla in 9th position at the moment. One of the newer drivers in IRC, and so I must admit, I like the Olympics. Do watch it, and I like the athletic stuff, like the track and stuff. Good stuff. I'm more like the 100 meters kind of guy though, because my attention span is pretty woeful. Marathons and stuff like that, not for me. Gorilla's going to we're on board Gorilla now. This is a good opportunity. If you go over that white line coming into the pitch, you will get a 5-second stop-go penalty for cutting the track. We've seen a couple of drivers have that problem last night, and so it's a very harsh penalty. So you're sticking in the pits, and the game just says that you've cut the corner as a Blas just flies through. and there's a 1:31.2 there for Blas. So yeah, he's looking very good. Remember, in the championship terms, he is currently 36 points behind Knowlesy. So it's not over, not by a long shot. So yeah, we could. So yeah. Blas did have a bit of a poor weekend in Singapore, didn't he? Whilst Knowlesy kind of was just controlling the race from pole to checkered flag in Singapore. But how was Blas going to do? Because I think Blas has got a lot of confidence from last night's race, and hopefully he can take that forward tonight. Of course, just on board Blas, and he's just on his pull down lap as his FA at the moment. We want to see the championship go to the wire, so that's what I'm. So that's who I'm supporting today is Blas. I want to see the championship go right down to the wire. But I must admit though, I think that Kumquat has at the beginning of the season, as we said, in the first 7-8 races was kind of up and down, which was but then all of a sudden he's done a very Lewis Hamilton-esque second half of the season. It's just turned the switch, and he has just been immense. Absolutely immense. Here's Matt now, who's on the Hypersoft tyres, and he is just going to have a blitz now and see how he feels. Just in front of him is Penny in the 1:34.2 and 1:34.1 for double. 4 minutes to go, and yeah, there is a lot of there's a lot of whispers about the weather in later on's race. So who is that going to favour then? Blas is very strong in the wet, isn't he? Well, when we were talking to Kumquat a few weeks back, I think it was, he did he admit that he was I'm sure he said that he wasn't that he didn't really like the rain very much. So the championship, so of course, that could play into the hands of Blas, and that one Blas is looking very strong, isn't he? But remember, not everyone showed their hand yet, have they? We are expecting some good times from all sorts of drivers. Of course, I don't think Hunter's shown his hand yet. Definitely, I don't think Penny has. Matt hasn't. And of course, not that bad. Definitely hasn't. Kumquat, I reckon, go faster. FA, Asdog, all these guys can. Matt goes up to third now, and look how close he is between himself and Roscoe there. Very close. Like that's 200ths of a second. And now he's coming down into turn 2. There's another unique characteristic about this circuit is the run from the start line down to turn 2 to the first braking point. I think is the longest on the F1 calendar. So you got to take that into account when deciding your tire selection. Of course, if you go on the Hypersoft, then that would definitely FA is now 4 tenths quicker, and he's now going for another lap now. So we're on board with FA. We're going through turn 1, even though it's not really a turn, it's more of a kink, isn't it, really? So a kinky kink. So he don't really need to brake there. It's not really a corner in these with the downforce on these cars. You just seen him went over turn 2 there. Turn 2 is usually the prime place where you can kind of lose it in terms of track limits. But all around here it's quite harsh on track limits, isn't it? And so it's a very harsh track on track limits. I feel sometimes it just even when you run out wide slightly, it does definitely bite you. So around here, to be honest, I used to around these couple of corners here, and this one here. I struggled on this corner. I never was able to get the car down. I was used to the see-through quite a lot, and then we're into the secondary ISO now. Yeah, as I said, then this track hasn't been on the calendar for long. If you're watching FA, just getting past a couple there, doubled on that lap, so he's just on the coach there and seeing what's going on. You see Penny's done 5 laps on his Hypersoft tyres, and also Blas has done 4 laps on his Hypersoft tyres as well. So you can see these guys are really putting the tyres through their paces, don't they? It feels like a Friday practice session, don't it, at the moment, in terms of just feeling the grip. Of course, the track is very green. I must say we've had a great onboard footage from FA now, just showing you what the track is here in Russia. And he's going across the line. He does a 1:31. He's improved by a second now. That's a great time. Gorilla is out of the session, unfortunately, and that is a big blow for Gorilla because he was. Yeah, there's a lot of casualties in Q1 really when there is not really much up in terms of stakes. The stakes aren't very high in Q1 because because yeah, you've got the guys already through, so that is massive blow. We've lost 3 drivers already, so in Q2 we're just going to be losing 2 drivers. And to be honest, starting 11th and 12th is never usually the end of the world, but F8 have thrown the gauntlet down there. I wonder that might catch Blaz's attention there. Just on board there with Matt, then he's coming to the final sector now. Beautifully done there. Now into the final sector, and this is where it turns into more of an American street circuit, 90 degree left and 90 degree right. Here's a nice off-camber chicane here. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really sure, but off-camber corners don't really help the racing very much. Kumquat though is looks like he wants to shoot. He's got a new teammate tonight, and I think he probably might want to show him the way here, because F8 is stealing the headlines at the moment with a great time of a 130 flat. As Kumquat is all over the place at the moment. Has he been rattled? I don't think he might have been rattled. And of course, if you're, and I think we just had some breaking news. As England has scored, it's 1-0. England might be going to the final of the Nations League, which would be good stuff. It would be great to see England win something. Anyway, but that's not important right now. What's important is prize Kumquat. Kumquat's a little more important in England at the moment, in my opinion, as he is now. Well, he entered in here. He's coming into the pit. You can see, I think in the race that might have been a 5-second penalty. They are very harsh around here for penalties, as the Kumquat retired, and I think that is everyone that is retired then. So no, Penny is on that, but excuse me. So Penny's just having a quick look to. He's done 6 laps on the top of the soft tyres. He's really stretching these tyres. I think this is definitely race preparation. So he's seeing how far he can stretch the tyres. And as I found out last night, is our good friend Lennon, who was helping me in the comments last night, is you can tell my strategy knowledge is woeful. He was telling us it'd be a one-stop strategy, quite an easy one-stop strategy, hypersoft to ultrasoft or ultrasoft to hypersoft, and he was bang on the money there. Unless you get involved in the first corner in the first lap incident, Penny now crosses the line, and I think he stays 12th in the end, but I think that was just a race track lap. It wasn't about all that speed, that one. He just wanted to see how the tyres reacted, really. So F8 really throwing on the gauntlet in his first debut race for the Supers. But anyway, yeah, Didymus, Sven, both Red Bull, both Aston Martin Red Bulls, not setting a time, and Broke Gorilla would be 13th. So that is the end of the grid sorted. Really, are they going to be feeling a bit woeful how they pushed a bit too hard in Q1? I suppose you need to get some race prep in, but I think that this was kind of a free session to kind of. Well, maybe not a free session as such, but definitely a session where you didn't have to push too hard and just kind of feel yourself into the event. So that might be yeah, that might be a bit disappointing. Oh, we got some rain. So yeah, we have got a lot of rain in here tonight. So this is going to be interesting, isn't it? So this completely changes the fabric of the race. Remember, because we've got rain now, the strategy is going to be thrown completely out the window. So there's no so there's going to be no what tyres should I start on, hypersoft, ultrasoft, or the soft tyres. I doubt anyone would have started on soft tyre, even though Asdog is on the ultrasoft tyres at the moment, as you can see on the left hand side. But he's gone back to intermediates now, so he wasn't feeling that brave. I must admit, I tried driving around. I think it was Germany one time in the wet. My team went on the pits. I thought I was there and centre. I really wasn't. Let's just say it ended quite badly. And so F8's the first man. He was the first man, and of course he was also first in the Q1. So remember, it's a completely different challenge now for the drivers in the wet. So and I must admit, when we talk to the drivers in the group chat in both Elite and Supers, a lot of drivers don't really practice in the wet very much. It's a bit like the actual Formula One in terms of actual Formula One, because yeah, you don't really get to practice in the wet much. So it's a skill which you pick up whether you're really good at it or you're not. I think there's one story about Rumens Barrichello. I think used to drive around his go-kart track on slick tires, and that's why he became so good in the wet. Of course, Jensen Button also infamous for and FA very caught the car out. That's why it's dead. That's why these wet conditions are very deadly. If you and because there is so much torque in these modern Formula 1 cars, if you put the power down too early, you will be going into the wall, and it's quite hard to catch it once you're like there or thereabouts. At the moment, it is intermediate conditions, but it is it's light rain at the moment. Of course, we get to wet tyres when there's like puddles, you can see. So I don't think we're there yet. Whether we will get there is another matter. But now, so F is now just going to come through and start a lap now from the final sector. Yellow flag in 2 and 3. Hopefully, it's just slowing down. We've got a bit of a queue here at the moment for onboard double. Oh, lovely shot here with the side there, because the double was sporting the Martin Brundle helmet, I believe. And you can see we've got more yellow flags because they're all starting to back themselves up. This is a race to get out of Q2 into Q3. And remember, we're losing 2 cars here. We've already lost 3 cars. We've lost Gorilla. We've lost both Red Bulls. And now FA starts his lap, and he is coming down into turn 2. See them. We've got a bit of racing line. I believe they've all lost already. And unfortunately for FA, that's his lap ruined already. So that is a big blow there for FA. He got a yellow flag in sector 3. So Blaz is the next one to now come up into turn 3. So this corner, turn 3 is definitely, look at that, he's not even full throttle around turn 3 anymore. And look at that brilliant car control from Blaz. Amazing stuff. Did he cut the corner there? I think he did. So he is now also messed up his first run, although not that bad then. So he has now come down to turn 2. We saw FA make a mistake in turn 2, but not that bad, has it? Now it's very clean for him, not that bad. On board, look at that, only half throttle, and look at the car is trying to get away from him. And now he's coming into turn 4. Of course, Blaz overstepped the mark in turn 4, and you can see the back end trying to step out, and that's going to happen all the time around this circuit, because you really need to keep your wheels off the curves, otherwise you'll be facing the wall in no time at all. And how's it doing? Yeah, very smooth at the moment. As we said now, yeah, we're talking about famous drivers who drive superbly in the wet course. You remember, everyone remembers the look at that opposite lock again now. You can see he's got quite a lot of errs available still, because in the wet, I think the more errs you apply, then the more wheel spin you're going to get. And isn't he? Physico's out on the wet tyres at the moment, so he's the only driver out on the wet tyres. It's I don't think it's there or thereabouts for wet tyres just yet. You can see my bike going out of the racing line there. And how's he doing? So you see he's got a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Penny. Oh no! And I think Penny is out of qualifying, and that's why he's gone around. And that's a difficult place there. Asdog has gone fastest on a 1:34. 1:45, sorry, 1:49 for Matt. Double is on a 1:48 at the moment, so good job there from Double. But Asdog is 3 seconds quicker. Not the bad, comes across the line, goes second fastest. What about Knowlesy? But Prize Kumquat goes on a 1:44.7 there. So Kumquat a decent time there. What about Blaz is going around again? As is FA. Hunter goes across the lines and starting his lap now. Murphy is coming around to complete his lap now. His teammate is on 1:49. I think his teammate will go around again. Now what about Murphy? Murphy goes 1:45 and is up into second position. Physico is on the wet tyre, so we'll have a look at Physico's time in just a few seconds. We're going to just stay with Roscoe a minute in the orange McLaren. So Penny is out, so we're just looking to eliminate one more driver there. So we've lost 4 drivers in qualifying through accidents, which is it's quite a lot around Russia, isn't it? But we'll come back to that point in a minute, because Roscoe's just coming across the line then. So what's he going to do? He is going to go again, and Physico is changed his mind about the wet tyres, and he's in the pits. And FA has retired from the session. Oh, and that is a big blow for FA. That's a massive blow for FA. So all these guys got to do is just get around the corners, and they're going to be through. FA is out of qualifying, so he was fast in Q1, but he's out in Q2. Blaz goes second fastest. He is 3 tenths behind Kumquat. That is a massive. Where has he got? He's gone into the wall. Oh no, he's gone wide into the chicane. I think it's turn 12 and 13, isn't it? I believe. That is a big blow for FA. That really is, because Yeah, I think of course that's one of the places where you need to back out early, don't you? And I think FA thought you can make it. So FA is starting 12th. Penny at the moment is in the top 10, but I don't think he's going to be there for long. Yellow flying in sector 1, it just shows how deadly this track is when it's wet. Hunter goes across the line, goes 5th fast at the moment in the Ferrari, so Hunter is at 5th. You can see the rain is getting heavier, I think. It is getting heavier. I think that we might be thinking about going to wet soon. And Roscoe then is out there, he's 3 seconds up, and this is where FA lost it. You've got to keep it very calm around here. Of course, when it is raining in qualifying, you do change tack a bit. You kind of fuel the car up a bit more. Well, this is what I do anyway, so don't listen to me. But this is what the car would. You would fuel up the car for a couple of laps and just go round, because the track in theory should get quicker and wet. Well, I have a feeling that the track is getting wetter and wetter. So because I think we've lost 2 drivers, I don't think that anyone is in too much difficulties to get through it. Roscoe goes across the line, goes 7th fastest, so good time there from Roscoe. And Fisico is now out to the pits. Who is out there now? Matt's out there, he's on the back straight at the moment. Anyone else out there? Doubles out there. Roscoe is, I think, having another go. Hunter is coming in the pits by looks. Blas is just winding up for another crack. Not that bad, has done a good time as well. He's up into 2nd position. Apologies for not that bad, I've missed that. So a good time there from not that bad. We're just staying on board, but now you see you can tell the rain's getting heavier, can't you? So it was light rain to begin with, but I think it's getting heavier and heavier out there. So yeah, this is going to be. Look at that, the car just sliding from left to right there. Now not that bad is in the pits. Fisico is going to start us out from there. Although Matt comes across the line, goes 8th faster, so he's just displaced double and he's gone up into 8th position. Matt has. Of course, remember, let's also the end of season awards were being discussed as well earlier on the week. So yeah. So don't remember to get your nominations in, and yeah, and I think it's good. So so yeah, that's a very important part. So we're looking forward to seeing who gets what. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Prize is going for another run now. Who was up in sector 1? Just have a quick look, and I think. I'm not sure. Look at that, the rain's definitely coming down now. So remember Fisico then, so he's the only man who hasn't set a time yet. So Penny and Afe are out of Q2 unfortunately. So that's them gone early on, and yeah, so that's a big shame that is for FA and Penny. FA making his debut here in Super. Penny, who is must admit. We must say that it's like I think I say every week, so I sound like a broken record. But you got to give a big hand for Penny, because he's now started to go on the throwing on the wheels, so he's done a very good job there. Physical then has just gone slightly wide, and of course yeah, he's going slightly wide there. Is he invited? Is up? Nope, he's still going. To be honest, if you got there now in the weather, that's probably unavoidable, because you put on the power and you'll be in the wall. Similar to what Mark Webber would have done in Korea, of course, a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago. It was 2010 now. It's almost a decade ago. It's incredible, isn't it, how time flies? And Fisico now then in the middle sector here. Yeah, it's not. I think there was a bit of rain in practice one year in Russia, but there's never been a wet race in Russia so far in the when these couple of meetings that they've been here. And the past races, well, of 2014, the highlight of that race was basically Rosberg locking up his tyres and then going the whole race on the, I think it was a set of medium tyres, wasn't it? I think it was a white wall tyre. 2017 was a good race, of course, where Bottas won his first ever race, I believe. So good stuff there. It was a great race, so 10 cents to that race as well. Of course, Vettel probably hung back a bit too much in hindsight. Can't remember last year's race. So that sounds how good it was. Anyway, Fisico coming across, probably was responsible, but anyway, Fisico goes across the line, goes 8th fastest then. So all 10 participants that have completed that will be through into Q3 for the top 10 shootout. And how is the weather going to be? We've got bursts of sunshine there, haven't we? So maybe the track might dry up enough for slicks, or maybe it's just going to get worse. We don't know really. Well, drivers might know a bit more than I do. And you can see we've got a lot of rain out there. Hunter is now out there on his outlet. I've just gone on board with Hunter now, so Hunter's just winding up, and he's going to go for another run. And of course, I wonder if it's remember, this could be good preparation for the race tomorrow. This could also be good preparation for also good preparation for maybe Q3 and what's going to happen there. So yeah, very so this is not wasted laps. He's gone wide. He's gone very wide there, and look at that. You can see the debris there from FA. I must admit, I got a bit tense there for my former teammate. I thought he was going to end up in the wall, and of course, if you end up in the wall, that's it. Your qualifying's over. There's no second chances. There's no second chance in qualifying. Once you're done, you're done. It's not practice where you can get wheeled back on the back of a lorry, as you kind of get one chance and then you're done. And now coming into the final corner now, then so here comes Hunter now. So just on board of him. So look at, we're just going to see how much the driving sort of changes then. When it's in wet, you can see that it is wet enough for the DRS has been disabled, and so of course that means a drag reduction on the back of the on the rear wing, of course, where the rear wing end plate opens, and it looks like a little letterbox. But of course that has been this is very brave stuff from Hunter. You can see he's just lifted. You can see that green line is the throttle input there. And he was flat out for the majority of the corner there. It's only the final, it's only like the final third where he kind of lifted off there. So very brave stuff. Of course, it's easy flat in the wet, but I wouldn't say in these conditions. And you can see there a bit of oversteer there, and of course the back end trying to step out. And look at this then. So coming into dropping down to fourth gear, and again just putting the throttle down very gently. Going to put it down a lot more gently in the wet, and you can see another bit of oversteer there. Lovely to see. It does these conditions make the cars work so much better, don't they? Now onto the back straight. This is where you get DRS. So you just go on the white line now, but you don't get DRS this time around because of the rain. And he's now coming down to the chicane, and of course it's probably the second place overtaken for a second best place for overtaking in the race. Carlos Sainz had a huge accident there, didn't he, a couple of years ago? And yeah, it was a bit of a scary one. Unfortunately, he missed qualifying for that, but I think he had a good race up until where his brakes failed him again. Now coming into the final section now, of course, a very tricky Mickey Mouse kind of section. Now we've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Hoping it's not anything too serious. We're going to keep with Hunter. See a bit of drifting now into the final corner, and we've just got to nail it as quick, get on the power as quick as possible. And he's gone third fastest. Good time there from Hunter, brilliant time. And we had the privilege to ride on board with Hunter there, so good stuff. And you can see he was very brave as well, because I thought he did really well into turn 3. And Kumquat has retired from the session, but don't worry, he's just in the pits. He's not gone anywhere, as we're on board with Physico now. And he's coming into the final sector as well now. Of course, there's been a lot of comparisons about Valencia, hasn't it, this track, as in especially as there's a yellow flag around here. Hopefully, as Physico also improves by so even the track, I think the confidence might be actually getting higher. So there's me saying it was going to get wetter and wetter and so on and so on. Well, that's not the case. I think the drivers are just getting more and more confident now, aren't they? As we're just less than half a minute to go now with Q2. And these are the guys that are going through into Q3. They are Kumquat, not that bad. Hunter, Blaz, Murphy, Asbog, Physico are on board now. Roscoe, Matt, and Double. And we're on board with Double now, as he's in the Sauber. Of course, Sauber the Sauber name will no longer be on the grid next season. It will be Alfa Romeo. Of course, they are badged in this game as Alfa Romeo Sauber, so they would just be called Alfa Romeo next year. Shame really, Sauber in F1 since 1993. Of course, they did change their name to BMW Sauber between 2006 and 9, and of course that was probably their most successful period in their Formula 1, wasn't it? Especially 2000. I think it was 2008, wasn't it? Yeah, great year that was. Of course, Robert Kubica won in Canada. Of course, that's where Formula 1 are this week. Is in Canada. Of course, it's a nice sociable time. Canada is, as Double is coming into the pits now. So he's not completing that lap. He is through. Hunter has just gone faster still. Hunter is loving these conditions, isn't he? Brilliant drive for a brilliant lap there from Hunter. And he's just getting faster and faster. So these conditions are all about confidence. So good stuff there from Hunter. He's done a 1:44.5 out there at the moment. And he's done 2 laps on the intermediate tyres. Alright, Physico comes into the pits as well, goes wide, and see this is one of the slower pit lanes of the season. Look how narrow it is in here. So that's going to be the end of Q2 then. So unfortunately, Penny and FA will be 11th and 12th. If it's a wet race tomorrow, then really 11th and 12th is not really where you want to start. If it was a dry race, then it wouldn't be too bad. We have had some reports that it's possible to be a wet race. this track has been compared to Valencia in the past, hasn't it? And especially around this part here where the track just snakes, it's kind of it has a lot of fast kinks in that straight really, which I don't think improves overtaking very much. So here we are then. So unfortunately the guys have been knocked out is FA and Penny. So through to the top 10 is double. So good stuff from double there. Matt is through, Roscoe, Physica through, Asdog, Murphy, Blaz, not that bad, Kumquat and Hunter. So yeah, so those are the guys in the top 10. Now, how is the weather going to be into the final qualifying session? That's the big question. Is it still going to be steady rain? Is it still going to be intermediate tyres? Are we going to go to the full wets, or maybe even we'll go back to slick tyres? See, it is a lovely setting for the Grand Prix, isn't it, here in Russia? Of course, Russia, what used to be at the back end, used to be. It's had a couple of changes over the years, hasn't it? It started off at the back end. Then it went to like one of the early races. Then it changed back into one of the later races again. Of course, Mercedes won the constructors here, didn't they, as well? I think it was 2 years in a row, wasn't it? Possibly. As we're just seeing who comes out first, and that's Hunter, who will be the first man out in the Ferrari. That's closely followed by one of the Mercedes. That's Matt coming out as well. So we've got one. So it's Hunter and Matt out at the moment. The weather's definitely eased off, hasn't it? I'm wondering, is it raining out there at all? I think the rain has stopped. You know, I think the rain has stopped. So this is going to be. So is the track going to be dry enough to go out onto slick tyres? It's got to on. I think that's might be a bit of a tall order. But yeah, that's yeah. I think the rain has stopped. We can't see anything coming down then. So Hunter out on an outlap, as is Matt. So yeah, the rain has stopped. So if the track would not be at its best at the moment, but I think that you want to get out there and just set a banker in. We've got 12 minutes of this session, because it was extended a couple of years ago from 10 minutes to 12 minutes for tracks like Spa and Azerbaijan wasn't in the calendar when they extended it, but yeah, Azerbaijan, the second longest race on the calendar. And, now we're Hunter in the second sector at the moment, so he's just getting himself warmed up. So we got not that bad out there at the moment. We've also got Kumquat, Physico and Matt out there as well. We've seen Matt come storm out the pit lane just behind the car number 70 in the Ferrari. And you see Hunter, who is at fourth in the championship at the moment. We were talking to him, wasn't we, after Belgium? Of course, he had a good podium in Belgium. And Belgium? Singapore, I think. Blimey. I just shows how much I love Belgium. And yeah, I think we were talking to Hunter on the podium in Singapore. And of course, his aim now for the season is to finish on the podium, to finish in the top three, isn't it? And of course, it's going to be a challenge though, because Not That Bad is definitely well, he's not that bad, is he? But he had a disappointing race in Singapore, but he's certainly still holding the cards, isn't he, for that final position on that final third position. Of course, that covered up third position. Of course, if you get third position in F1, then you go to the FA Gala, as Kimi Räikkönen became a meme lord again in terms of what he was up to. One of the best things I've ever seen that gala was. Amazing stuff. And it's great to see Kimi having a good time. Which most of the time he does, doesn't he, really? Of course, infamous for the ice cream as well, back in 2009 Malaysia. And I think he knew it before everyone else knew that the race was over. But well, I think his car might have had a problem, but I'm sure. But yeah, whatever was happening, he wasn't getting back in it, was he? So Hunter then is now on his first lap, and you see that the track will be drying up and it'll be getting quicker and quicker. Is we're going to be on slick tyres in the next before the time runs out? That's the question. Hunter goes slightly wide there. He's still on it. So of course, as we said before, this track is very brutal on track limits there. But they've always steered there from Hunter, so the correction on the car. And then coming on to the back straight, DRS has not been enabled yet, but we can't be too far away from a DRS being enabled. And of course that will also increase the speeds then on the back straight. As we was talking earlier, the Zenkin back straight is very curvy. And I think that when the Mercedes has made a mistake, it might have been Murphy. We're back on board with Hunter, and Hunter was looking supreme in the wet, wasn't he, in Q2? He was just getting quicker and quicker. Do you reckon he would have rather have had a wet Q3? Possibly. But we'll see how he's going about his business now. He's coming through the final couple of corners. What kind of time is this going to be? Oh, correction again. He comes across the line, and what is it? It's pole position at the moment, of course. But the question is of where is that going to put him in reference to everyone else? Here comes Matt coming across the line. So Matt is in a 47. Sorry, I'm still like in dry times, aren't I? Coming up to the line. Who else is out coming up to the line now? Not that bad. It's coming up to the line first, so makes a sport correction, but not that bad. Goes fast. It's good time then for not that bad. So good stuff. But Kumquat there just eclipses it, and he does a 1:44.3. He definitely eclipses it. Good time there. And you can see the spray is getting less and less then. So the track is just going to get quicker and quicker, and I think Asdog and Blas kind of know that, and Murphy's also probably thinking about that as well. But Physico goes across the line, goes he's going to have to go again there because his time is unfortunately been disallowed. But he's going for it now. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I'm hoping it's just someone down. So as it stands after the round one of time set, we have the championship leader Kumquat on pole position. Second position is not that bad. There is a bit of a gap there between the front two, and Hunter in third position, Matt in fourth. Roscoe hasn't set a time, and nor is the rest of the field. Ooh, sorry, this is my back. I can't do two things at once. Physico is now on a lap right now. So so Physico is in the second section now. Look at that; it's almost dry. So are they going? Who's going to roll the dice? Who's going to go out on the slick tires? And surely someone's got to have a go. If to be honest, if I was I would definitely have a go, but I'll probably end up in the wall. But these guys are a lot more better. All these guys in the top 10 are a lot more skillful than I am. Because I sort of finally break on one race, and now we have Physico coming down the back straight. And now one DRS should be enabled fairly soon, I reckon. And when that does, that is a cue. Hypersoft tires for Blas. According to the graphics up in the top left-hand corner, so Blas is going on the Hypersoft tires. Is this going to be a European style qualifying session back in '99, where it was the last one across the line to get pole position? And of course, that was French. That's one of my favourite qualifying sessions, the European Grand Prix. I remember sitting there for a very long time, of course, back in the old style qualifying. We'll talk about that in a minute, because coming through the final corner now is Physico. He's going for 145. He's in the 145s, and he is having the fourth position. Good job there from Physico. Great stuff. So Physico is now up into fourth position. And now just watching a double who's on intermediate tyres. I wonder if he'll abandon this lap and come back in. He's only got 5 minutes. So, but double is usually a man to roll the dice. And he thinks it is too dry now for intermediate. So he's coming back in, taking it very steady as well. So that's a very experienced racer there, isn't he? He's seen in the past about how easy it is to finish your day in the wall there, or just even shooting out and then getting the raffle to shoot. We're on board with Hunter then. Hunter will be coming back in the pits then. We've got Matt is also out there as well. We got 4 minutes to go. I wonder if he's got to come in. They are still waiting for I reckon they're waiting for DRS to be enabled, aren't they? Because as soon as you get DRS enabled, that is definitely... Matt's gone wide, but he's alright. He's out of the barrier. So yeah, that was heart in the mouth stuff there from Matt. So you can see that they're all going on the Hypersoft tires, and this is going to be great stuff. Where's the grip going to be? This is where they're going to have to find like godlike abilities. There it is. That's the cue. DRS has been enabled. They're all going to come out on the pink Hypersoft tire. This is going to get very tasty as well, as Matt's in the pits now. Then, so we've got 4 minutes to go. It could be last man across the line. Are they going to fuel up for a couple of laps, or are they just going to wait until they as Physico is going faster here? Of course, there is I think he's going to come in the pits, because now they're all in the pits. They're just waiting for each other to go, aren't they? So yeah, anyway, going back, yeah, I think my favourite qualifying session was definitely the European Grand Prix 1999, where it was the last one across the line, and that was when Frentzen took pole position. And yeah, it was amazing stuff as I was just watching Physico come in the pits then. So 3.5 minutes to go, only half the field set at a time, but you can see that the track is ready for dries, as the FIA have confirmed by the DRS has been enabled. So as FA has left the session. Hopefully he will come back in a second, because of course, making his debut in the Super League. We want to see how he fares. And out comes the Force India of Kumquat. His teammate is just left, but Double is the first man out there, so he's going to be on the Hypersoft tires. So he's going to be first one to find the grip, feel the grip, and see what it is out there. So we're going to be watching Double coming around then. Yeah, as we were saying, but European qualifying session, of course, it was the old style qualifying session where it was 60 minutes, you had 12 laps, and you 4 runs or 3 runs, depending on if you want to do a double run. I had one board double as well, so that was no pun intended. That was just beautiful entertainment. And yeah, so it was like, if you want to do like 2 runs instead of just the one and come back in the pits, then you can. And yeah. But of course, the only problem with those old style qualifying sessions was because of the lack of laps, we used to wait for good 20 to 25 minutes of just basically no track action. But of course, back in them days, they didn't really show practice or anything like that on TV. Well, they definitely didn't show it on the ITV or BBC, unless it was a British Grand Prix, I recall one year. But you can see there it is. DRS is open now, and yeah, so I think that's where we used to get a lot of the information, a lot of the talk of what's the talk of the town, the rumours and all sorts of that. Because I think 2001 was a very juicy year for rumours, wasn't it? When Frentzen fell out with Eddie Jordan just before the German Grand Prix, and unfortunately Ricardo Zonta had the well, you could call it pleasure or displeasure of replacing him in Germany, as the German fans were all over the back of the Eddie Jordan on that occasion. Anyway, enough of the trip down the pass. We're now going to watch Double then. Double is the first man then, and this is going to be one and done then here for these guys. You can see the sun is now bursting through the clouds. He's on DRS. He is now flying his way down into turn 2 then. Of course, this is the first real breaking point of the session. How was his brakes? Was his brakes alright? We got yellow flag in 2 and 3. I'm hoping it's just guys getting out of each other's way. Double now into the long turn 3 then, as he's now coming into turn 4. He's looking good. He's looking very good. This is brave stuff from Double, because remember, he doesn't know where the grip is, because we had a lot of rain in Q2, and of course you have to of course extend your braking zones to make sure you don't make a meal of it. And Double there, so how is this lap doing? He's looking very good at the moment, and all those yellow flags are just guys just backing up there. And he's in the middle section now, of course, keeping within track limits. Are good stuff. Now coming into the second DRS range now, and you can see a bit of correction there, but he's doing good. He's on the DRS range now. Urges up to the max, so he's on the hot lap now. He's down the back straight, and you can see he's keeping it quite in the centre here, and he's braking nicely done there from Double into the chicane now, and into the final sector then. Remember, this is the point and squirt section, this is, and of course we're going to the off camber left-hander. Did he invalidate his time? I don't think he did. That's it, end of session then. Who is going to do what? We've got Kumquat just behind him. He's already set a time, but of course this is the first one on the dry tires. Double comes across the line. He's going to go 35 there from Double. What about Kumquat? Kumquat comes across the line instead of 33.2 there. Well done to Kumquat. But Hunter is now the next one across the line, I think, and he goes. He's just a good time for Hunter. He's second. He is a 10th off. He's a 10th off. As who else is out there? And just having a quick look to see who else is quickly next to the line. I think it's not that bad. Not the bad comes across the line. He is going to his pole position. I would say that's not that bad. And not that bad is now into first position. Good stuff. So we got Physical out there. Matt is just on that. Roscoe comes across the line. He got second fastest. Brilliant stuff then. Brave stuff from all these guys out there. Blaz is out there still. Asdog is out there still. Murphy is out there still. As is Matt and Physico. Murphy comes across the line. The Mercedes at the moment. What's he doing? He's gone second fastest. 4 tenths away. What about Matt? Matt coming through then. So Matt is coming through. Well, is he going to match his teammate's time? He's 6th fast. He might be disappointed with that. And as Asdog now coming through, as Physico just set a time, and Asdog goes. Oh, he's invalidated his time. So I think that's it. No, we haven't. We've still got Physico, and Blaz is only 3rd fastest. So so Blaz is only 3rd. But what about Physico? He got 7th fastest in the end. What an end to qualifying that was. Wow. Brilliant stuff there. I think they were fed up with me talking about the past. Well done to all drivers there. That was awesome stuff. I don't think FA has returned yet, which is not good because we want to see FA back in here and we want to see what FA can do in his first debut. His first debut then for in the Super League. What a time there for Not That Bad. He is on pole position by 0.4 of a second. Murphy is alongside him on row 1. Then we got Blaz second. Third is Roscoe. Well, Kumquat, the championship leader, is 5th. Hunter is 6th. Physico 7th. Might be disappointed about an 8th. Double is 9th. And Asdog will be even more disappointed because he didn't get a time in, unfortunately. I think it was due to invalidated lap. Remember, no formation lap in the Super League. I finally learnt that after, what, 10 races? So yeah, no formation lap then, so we're going to be straight on it like Sonic now then, and as they burst their way down to turn 2 they'll be as quick as that Sonic going down to turn 2 as well, hopefully. Oh, and look at that is a torrential rain, isn't it? That's not just a light sprinkle. That is well, it's not very good. It's not a very good race weekend here, is it, in Russia tonight, is it? That is a huge amount of rain. No, I can't see FA in this lobby, which is a massive shame for the Force India and for FA himself. He's looking forward to seeing how well he's doing. So the question is now then, so this is basically throwing the strategy all the way up in the air. What are they going to do then? They're going to, of course, they must start on the wet tyre surely. And what about fuel? Because of course you've got to adjust the fuel in the wet, haven't you? Because a lot of these drivers might be running on lean. Well, I would anyway. Right, here we go then. The 5 sets of lights will be on. When we go out, we'll be racing in Russia in very appalling conditions. And bear with us, folks, as we're just having a lovely look at the pit lane and how narrow it is. Of course, usually the pit lanes have got like 3 lanes in the new modern circuits, but of course this is how narrow the Russian one is. You can see there the middle lane is not really existent, is it? And as we're just building up the suspense now, because here we go then, we're gonna have 5 sets of lights. When they go out, we'll be racing in Russia, and here we go, and it is, and we're off. And good start there from all guys. And we got a couple of position changes already in the midfield, and there's Price Kumquat already on the AstroTurf, so not that bad. It's got a good start. Right, Price Kumquat's gone into someone. I think it's one of the Haas's there. There's damage on one of the Force Indias, I believe, and there's a Ferrari siren his way down, and Blas is going to get squeezed. He's got squeezed, and we got a Force India there going across the track as well. And then we got a Sauber. 2 Red Bulls are skating across the road, and we've got another Sauber who's at the back of the field road, and FA's in the pit, so not that bad. A good start then, and a great start then, and we've got McLaren firing its way up into second position, not quite. Blaz and the championship leader and Blaz are side by side, so these two are fighting for the championship. They're also fighting on track and mode, and Kumquat is up, and that's a Ferrari on the inside of Roscoe there, and they're giving each other room. Brilliant stuff from all those guys out there, and good driving from all these guys in appalling conditions out there. This will be a safety car start in the real Formula 1 world, and whoa, that's a car right off the track. Blaz has dropped down to 7th position already, and we got Physico 8th, Matt is down to 9th, we got Gorilla 10th, Double 11th, Sven, Didymus, Stephen 14th position. Not a bad lead. Second is Murphy. Roscoe in 3rd position. Hunter is still over the back of Roscoe in the battle for 3rd and 4th. And then we've got Kumquat. Someone's damaged their front wing, but I thought it was Kumquat. It might not be. So Kumquat is in 5th position. Asdog, great drive. He's up into 4 positions already. Blaz has dropped down 4 positions. A terrible start from Blaz. Physical. Then we've got Broker Gorilla's out. He's out of the race. And that's a big blow from Broker Gorilla. Massive blow. He's out of the race already. Is that going to cause a virtual safety car? I don't think so. I think we're through. So that is a massive shame. We're down to 13 cars already out of the 14 that started. Virtual safety car. Is anyone going to roll the... Oh, and oh, we got a car in the pit there. Yeah, it's Asdog. It's got damage. And I thought there we seen a Haas in a Force India getting very close there. And Sven's out. Sven is out of the race. Where's Sven? Sven has gone. Well, I'm not trying to. Not. He's in the middle of the track there. I think so. Sven is out of the race as well. And wow, what a start! Let's just take a stock of what's going on then. So as a virtual safety car is out at the moment, and unfortunately Blaz has dropped down 3 positions. Didymus up 5 positions. Good stuff there. And so we've lost 2 drivers. We've lost Sven and and broke Gorilla then as we're just trying to calm down here. Everyone is on the full wet tyres, so yeah, so it's kind of so really everyone's on. There's no other chance of anyone good on the intermediates at the moment. It's appalling conditions out there. And that's a McLaren going very wide there in the battle for third position. Roscoe right up there, as is Murphy, and I think we are going, and we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Who is it? I think it's just the yellow flag clearing double in 9th position, so good points to get for double today. Asdog is right down the back now. That's unfortunate for Asdog. Unfortunately, that's the story of the season, though, isn't it? And now Roscoe is, I think the third Hunter is being hunted by the championship leader Kumquat. Blaz is back up into the 6th now after Asdog's pit stop, but Blaz is in 6th position at the moment. Of course, remember he is 36 points back at the moment. He would need to he needs to get in front of Kumquat if he wants any hope of challenging Kumquat at the moment. Kumquat is yeah, he's having a much tougher race at the moment, isn't he, than he did in Singapore. Now we're on board with Hunter then, so look at these conditions are appalling. I think that we'd be almost close to a red flag, wouldn't we, in the real world for one. I think the shortest race in the F1, wasn't it, and when wet conditions, was in Australia, 1990. Hunter getting very tail happy there, isn't he, out the final couple of corners, and Price is now all over the back of Hunter then, and what's it going to be then to the final corner then is you can see then. We're on board with a Kumquat. You see he's one of the drivers that have really emptied their fuel tank around here in the wet, because you don't want to carry any more fuel than you can in the wet. Well, in the dry as well, but definitely in the wet, because they're going to be running lean mix for quite a long time. So you don't want any wheel spin. You don't want any wheel spin in this race. And you can see them, we're now, as Murphy, there's a bit of a queue for him now behind Murphy, because there's 2.6 seconds of gap between, not that bad in Murphy. Not that bad. We'd like to bounce back after a very difficult time in very difficult time. And look at this, Hunter's going, is he going to have a look? No, not quite. As look at the spray. This is awful, appalling conditions out there. Is they're going to be struggling to see and find their braking point. They've still got to find their braking point, haven't they, in these conditions. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. And you can see there's Physico and Blaz are quite close together. Blaz is struggling at the moment. He's 2 seconds back from this battle here, and Physico is starting to get very keen as well. And what's Roscoe doing at the moment? So Murphy is trying to find his feet now. He's now started to stretch the gap out there at the moment. It's very difficult to find your feet in these conditions, isn't it? And he's now pegging at not that bad. So yeah, that's a good effort there from Murphy. So hopefully Murphy might be able to start and catch on the leader at the moment. So we're on lap 3 out of 27. Hopefully got some of the rain clearing up a bit, because yeah, this is very tough conditions. I think full wet race is quite a rarity these days, isn't it? And look at that, there's Hunter's all over the back of Roscoe there. He is the quicker car of the two at the moment, but it's easy to chase than be chased, isn't it? Because Roscoe is definitely, well, he was handling the pressure, but he's getting sideways again. And yeah, you can see this is very difficult to overtake in these last couple of corners. It's kind of one at a time through here, and you can see again the back end is stepping out. We've got a fast off the race from him, not that bad. 151. We're almost in 2 minutes here. That's how heavy the rain is out there, because he's doing 130. He's doing 130 odds in the qualifying, and now he's now able to turn up his ERS at the moment. So he's just having a look. Is he stepping out? No, not at the moment. Roscoe's too far in front. He's gone into him. He's damaged his wing. He's gone to the back of Roscoe. That is going to be awful to steer that car now. And you can see that Roscoe is sideways, and he's almost dropped it. Good recovery draw from Roscoe there, but now Kumquat is going to have a look, but Roscoe closes the door in the number 4 McLaren. But that Ferrari is damaged, and we got a yellow flag, and Matt is out. Matt is out of the race. He has gone into turn 3, I think. It's just the exit of turn 3. That is a big blow for Matt, and oh no, what a shame. And Hunter's going to be dropping down the order now because he's damaged his front wing, and oh, such a shame. So we're down to 11 cars then. And this race is causing all sorts of now Hunter's just trying to get out of the way of everyone at the moment. That is a massive shame. And so Matt's out, Sven's out, and Gorilla's out. To be honest, the guys that are racing at the moment, you have to have supreme skill in these appalling conditions. So Hunter, and Ford, that is a shame for Hunter, isn't it? And it's also a big blow for his battle in the. It's also a shame for his battle. Is that Price is having a look. He's going up the. Oh, no, yet not quite. He's on the outside at the moment. And he's going for the switchback, not quite, and he's now all over the back of Roscoe, isn't he? Roscoe had that moment in turn 3, There's a lovely onboard shot there as Fizzico is in front of Hunter as well. Now Blas is now all over the back. So here we go. This is what we want to see. We want to see the championship leaders. Hunter's going to come in the pits. The Ferrari's too badly damaged to continue in that. And not bad is now into the 150s. Look at this. This is awful conditions, appalling conditions here in Russia and Sochi. And now what can Kumquat do? He's 2 tenths behind. Azdog is now up into 10th position. Good race at the moment for Double is in 8th position. Didymus is in 9th position. Roscoe is going defensive. I think Kumquat's a bit too far back, so he's defending fresh air at the moment. So that's going to compromise him into turn 2 and 3. As you can see there, a bit of a moment there. So Hunter's in the pits. Unfortunately, there's only one tyre to go on at this stage of the race, and that is the wet tyres. And unfortunately for Hunter, it's a big shame for Hunter, really, isn't it? So that's a big blow, and it's the same for Azdog as well. But we'll come back to that story in a minute, because at the inside, Kumquat is up with the third. He's on the podium on lap 5. Brilliant. This could be that. This is now going to be a race of a champion, isn't it? Surely for Kumquat there. But Roscoe is going to stick it in. No, not quite. So Blas now needs to follow him through as quickly as possible. He needs to keep the pressure on them. He needs to keep the pressure on Kumquat as much as he can, because he needs. Look at it. This is terrible. Look at this. Awful conditions out here at the moment, and you can see there's no sign of it clearing up as well. But yeah, we've got. But Blas needs to get by Roscoe as quickly as possible, but I don't think Blas has got the pace at the moment, has he? And now. But Roscoe is going to have a look. He's going to have a look. He's turned it all up, but not quite. And so at the moment then it's stalemate. But wow, it's definitely going to be this is going to be a very long race, isn't it, for all these guys? And because of the wet race as well, this race time is going to increase considerably, and because of that, they will be. So they'll be racing longer, and because of the conditions are so appalling out there as well, they're going to. So we've got to double their concentration as well. And so now Blas then is. Of course, he would be in the DRS range in the dry, but that is not the case in the wet. The DRS has been disabled, of course, for safety reasons. Fizzico is just behind there, and we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. And I wonder if Steve Penny just had a bit of a. Penny just got got a slap on the wrist now as well for corner cutting. And so we rejoin this battle then, and a yellow flag in sector 1. This Didymus is out. Didymus is out of the race, and I think he's where is he? Just on board with Hunter then. So we're now down to 10 cars, and there he is. Oh, he's just out of turn 1 there. So I wonder if we got a tank slap for him. That is a shame now for Didymus. So he's out of the race. This is going to be big points today for Penny for Double. So can Sauber really get some really good points at the moment? They're bottom in the constructors, so they would like to be there or thereabouts really and get some points. So good stuff here. Lovely camera shot there. Didymus' last possession. I think he's probably a bit frustrated with that. Yeah, let's take a look at the constructors at the moment. And yeah, so Sauber are bottom at the moment. They are on 43 points. They need 10 points. 10 points to trouble the Red Bull team, and Red Bull at the moment are not in the no Red Bulls. They're going to score points at the moment. So Double, the one you go out better because my maths is absolutely appalling. So at the moment then Double, who is on 6 championship points at the moment, as Roscoe. I'm not sure. I was looking at the the standards there, and Roscoe there getting a bit wary there. So he is and now Blas all over the back of him, not that bad again, controlling the race beautifully at the moment. But Kumquat is now starting to really make his move, isn't he? This and Kumquat, there he goes. He just he's dropping back from Murphy at the moment. So he's really making his move now. Blas needs to kind of get a move on in this stage of the race. We've got 20 laps to go, so there's still a long way to go in this race. But you can't. Kumquat is now driving off in the distance, and Fizzico is now starting. We've got intermediate tyres then for Penny. So Penny is the first man on the intermediate tyres. Azdog is now behind Double. Remember, as we was talking, Sauber need 10 points to overtake a Red Bull in the constructors. In the constructive points. So yeah, that's definitely surely got to be one. Roscoe's out. Roscoe is out of the race, and what's happened there? So we've just we're on board with Azdog, and what's happened? We're on board in is it turn 3? Because he had troubles in turn 3 earlier. Let's just on board. It is in turn 3. And there, oh, is it the exit turn 3? That's similar place to where I think when the Red Bulls went out. And Roscoe has left the session, so that is a big shame. Oh no, and anyway, yeah, Double's on 6 points at the moment, and 8 points now for the Sauber team. They've got 2 more points to get in front of the actual of the Red Bull team, and that is a shame for Roscoe. He is out of the race. Penny is now on the intermediate tyres. He is last at the moment, so he's got nothing to lose. Physico is now really starting to hound down Blas. This is going to be a race of attrition, so it's going to feel like an endurance race out there. It's going to be last month's standard at this rate, but not that bad. Is in the moment controlling the race, isn't he? He is looking absolutely fearless up front at the moment. He could be like our new Rainmaster at the moment, can't he? He's like Schumacher-esque, isn't he? He is very, very, very much in control at the moment. He's done another fast part of the race. He's definitely going to have to keep an eye on Kumquat, because he's now into second position. I might have missed that, but Kumquat is now up into second position, and he is now he's going to hunt after that Renault. But has he got the pace to keep up with the Renault? Murphy's in third position, and Blas is fourth. Physico is in fifth at the moment. On board with Physico at the moment. He is at half a second back. Blas is on the central track there, kind of defending fresh air. So that's going to compromise him into turn 2. I haven't compromised that much at all, is it really? And then 19 seconds back is Asdod at the moment. So they're starting to get stretched out here. So this is the closest battle on track at the moment. We've got a 3-second penalty for Hunter. Hunter is trying to make his comeback now, but we're not that bad in second with a 7-second lead at the moment. I feel that third position is now starting to slip from his grasp at the moment. Hunter's grasp at the moment, which is going to be a big shame from Hunter's point of view, because of course he is third at the moment. Actually, we took not bad in the last race, but yeah. So as things stand, I think not that bad. We'll be back in front. Physico doing a good job at the moment, isn't he? He's really feeling well in these conditions. And who's that? That's Penny. Has damaged his front wing, and unfortunately, I think it was too early for the intermediate tyres, isn't it? He's going to come back in the pits. And we're on board with it now. No, he's going to keep going then. So Penny's going to keep going, but that car is going to be like handling like a shopping trolley, isn't it? A Tesco shopping trolley as well, which unfortunately that is not every little helps at all if you lose your front wing. Not that bad. It's now 7.5 seconds in front. We're going to keep the battle now between Blas and Fizco. Fizco doing an absolutely outstanding job, isn't he? He's been the MVP so far in this race so far. He's been amazing. Start of the show, and he's 7 tenths back from Blas. Can he get that number 21 Williams past the Blas? Of course, at the moment Blas is on 12 points. Price Kumquat is on 18 points. So that's another 6 points that Kumquat is now just done the fast lap of the race. So that's another 6 points Blas is losing then to Kumquat in the championship. Of course, Blas, very close to the wall there, Physico. Of course, I've heard about, drafting and things like that, but I haven't. So I don't know whether he's got a yellow flag in 1 and 2, and Penny is out of the race, unfortunately. And so we're down to 7 cars, but that is 2 points for Penny. So that is what Sauber want. I think Sauber disappointed that they didn't stay in there longer, but Sauber could get off the bottom of the table here tonight. As Murphy and Penny's left the session, so we're down to 8 cars then. As we've got a virtual safety car out there again, and is anyone going to, by the moment, I'd say these wet tyres could probably last till they might be a bit second hand, but I wonder what's the strategy going to be like. Are they going to come to the pits, or are they going to stay out? And so it's at the moment then, so those gaps then are going to mislead at the moment. Not that bad, hasn't gained 3 seconds over Price, just because they're a lot slower going through the timing beam, so that's why. And then when we get back up to full racing speed, we'll be on it again. Just staying on board with Physico at the moment, just having a look at the correction on the steering wheel. That is how awful these conditions are tonight. And it's going to be a very tough race out there. The virtual safety car still out there, it's still flashing at the top of the screen. And we'll be going again as you can't overtake yet Physico, as he's getting very now he's ready to go. Maybe 2 might have been delayed there, but Physico trying to keep napping it up into 7th position goes Hunter now. So Hunter is now coming back through the field, looking very leery at the moment. So so Sauber do need 10 points there to leapfrog, to not leapfrog, but to be joint with the Red Bull team. Red Bull at the moment are struggling at the moment, and Physico is into the pits on lap 10. Has he damaged his wing? He damaged his wing on he's coming into the pits now. I wonder, because we kind of caught a glimpse from having a look, but I didn't see any damage there, so or is this just a roll of the dice here? Is he going to go onto the inter tires? It can't be going on the inter tires because it's still too wet out there, isn't it? No, he is going on the inter tires. This might be an absolutely amazing call. This might be a Jensen Button-esque call. So he's going on the intermediate tires, Physico is. And let's see what his pace is going to be like. Hunter's in the pits as well, so maybe these guys have these guys roll the dice first, and this could actually double in as well. So this is going to be interesting. We've got to keep an eye on Physico, Double, Andy, and Hunter to see what their pace is going to be like as Dog is going through. So this is going to be interesting. And Double is going through and held up Hunter there. Of course, that's not Double's fault. Of course, they are reduced to 50 kilometers an hour in the pit. 50 miles an hour in the pits as now Double is in and also on the intermediate tires as well. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We're back on board with Physico then. Of course, a lot of airtime with Physico tonight, and it's good stuff as well. So we're going to see now, because Physico is the first man to roll the dice on the inter tires. What is he doing compared to Aslo? He's just in front of him. He's on the full wet tire, so that's more grooves. So the intermediates have got shallow grooves, whilst and they can displace. I can't remember what the stat was. Was it 20 litres of water or something like that? Whilst the wets can like displace like 60 litres or something like that. But anyway, he is gaining on them. He's gaining on him as quite a bit here. So surely, he's now down to 3.4 seconds. You can see the intervals at the left-hand side then, and if it's down to 3.6, then well, it's now up to 3.6. So maybe Asdog might have made a mistake here. So as the drivers in front are going to be, as Physico is really overshot there. Oh my gosh, very close to the wall. Blas is in the pit, so he's the first one that leads to roll the dice, and I think that might be a good shot there from Blas, because he needs to see if can he get like it's kind of an undercut, really, isn't it? In wet weather conditions, Asdog is staying out at the moment, so of course he's got fresher wet tires, and now Blas is in and out then. So how's he going to do then? Is he going to well, I'd say at the moment it might be on the cusp of between the dry and the wet tire, between the inters and the wet tires. So Blas coming out the pit lane now. Physico, and to be honest, it's a very good cover there from Blas, because I think that the inters are slightly quicker at this stage of the race, and they're only going to get quicker. So good cover there from Blas there. So brilliant stuff, and he's definitely still in it to win it, isn't he, in the championship? And of course, you can't rest on your laurels here, can you? And on lap 11 out of 27, and we see a bit of blue sky out there as well. Maybe you can actually see some dry tires out there in the end of the race. Of course, the dry tires, there are no grooves on the dry tires anymore. Of course, they got rid of that back in 2009. They did have groove tires, didn't they, between 98 and 2008. They slowed the cars down, but then they went back to the slick tires. Of course, I didn't want the groove tires, to be fair, but the overtake group thought it was causing issues with the overtake. So Blas is now trying to get his tires up to the optimum temperature, and lovely shot of the Olympic Park here in Sochi. Car 99 Blas is in the Toro Rosso. He's flying the flag for Toro Rosso tonight with Snap not joining us. I think he's enjoying the Holland-England game. And we'll be watching the highlights, and Price is in the pits. So Price is in the pits. Murphy is in the pits as well. But not that bad. It's stayed out. Is that going to be a Costiero for not that bad? So Price is in the pits then. It's been a splendid drive so far from Kumquat. And I think that Blas is now going to... I think that Blas, who has been renowned for his wet weather driving, is a real lovely shot there. The Mercedes just accelerating out there. So brilliant stuff. So now Price is out of the pits, and he is not going to lose second position there, Price then. So good stuff there from Price. Now he's going to can he get after that Red Bull, that Renault, and also it's Murphy. But Asdog is going to be in front. Blas is also going to be in front. This is going to be interesting. Where's Murphy? There's Murphy, and Murphy comes out just behind Blas. So maybe they reacted a bit too slow, and now Physico. You see braking distance there, and of course half a minute back is Hunter, but this is going to be very tasty, isn't it? Now the gap is 29 seconds, it's down to 28 seconds, he's up the inside, and Physico is through, and Hunter has set the fastest lap of the race. So and Murphy having a look there, I think he's just trying to, and Asdog is on the wet tyres, he's going to be overtaken, so Blas is up into third position then. He is still there's still quite a gap between himself and his championship rival, but Blas is now in the third. Asdog is just hanging out there on the wet tyres. I wonder if he can see if he can hang on to these wet tyres and maybe have may have the intermediates. Optimum temperature very close there. As Physico nearly went to the back of Asdog there, and now as Asdog is on the middle of the track. Physico going on the inside. That is a bit cheeky there from Physico, because he did cut the corner a bit there, but Asdog is still in front there. So of course no DRS at the moment, and so this is going to be an old school overtaking manoeuvre if Physico gets it done. Asdog of course on the wet tyres, intermediate tyres. Physico is going to have a he's dived at the inside, and Physico is through past Asdog, and he's up into 4th position. Good. Physico is the first man to go onto the intermediate tyres. An absolutely amazing call there from Physico. You can see he definitely fouled it, didn't he? Under another battle is in the pits, and he's coming out of the pits now. We'll go back to that battle in a minute, because Asdog is defending, but he can't defend anymore, and Asdog is now coming into the pits. Oh no! And look at that, that's a stop-go penalty, and see, that's what I mean. That's such a, yeah, I feel that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Look at that, the gap is down. He's lost 5 seconds. Not that bad in Kumquat there, so but not that bad. It will be on fresher intermediate tyres, so that might come pay dividends in the end. But Kumquat has definitely got the bit between his teeth. Blaz is in for a position, 4th position is Physico. He's, as we were saying just before the pit stops, that has been a brilliant call there. And unfortunately, the biggest loser in that all that going on is Hunter, is up into 6th position and is in front of Asdog now. So Asdog will have a lot fresher rubber in at 7th position. Hunter is now up into 6th position, and it's really flying at that moment. I reckon we could get onto dry tyres before the end of this race, because the rain is the track's starting to look better. But look who's looking really good at the moment. That's Kumquat. What a drive! He started 5th on the grid, I believe, maybe even 6th, and he on lap 13 now. He is now hunted down. Not that bad. However, 7-second lead. And he might have left it slightly too long, because the track was definitely intermediate conditions, but he stayed out there for a couple of laps extra. Physico was in there first straight away, and that has really changed the game for Physico, hasn't it? A brilliant call from Physico, absolutely outstanding stuff. And of course that just shows the talent, don't it, really? Physico fouled it underneath his car, and he got onto the intermediate tyres. Now we're battling for the lead then, and a couple of laps ago, wasn't expecting this, was he? It's a shame for Asdog getting that stop and go penalty for cutting the track. Yeah, he just overshot it. It was very harsh indeed. And Asdog's day goes from bad to worse. A 46.5 there from Kumquat. See there, maybe is he going to rattle? Not that bad then. We're on lap 14 out of 27. So we've still got a fair way to go in this race. So yeah, stick with us, guys. This is going to be pretty intense then for this battle for the lead then. And it's now at just 1.6 seconds, so not that bad. It's now going to it's now in the range, so he'll be back up to fighting fit racing in a minute. Oh, 3-second penalty. That could come back to haunt him, because now Kumquat is now almost under a second. Remember, no DRS in these conditions just yet. The rain is getting lighter and lighter, so we could potentially go onto the dry tyres. Which would be good stuff. A 3-second penalty for Hunter there, but Hunter is on a mission, isn't he? Now he's in 6th position and hunting down Murphy, who's in 5th position at the moment. Murphy will be disappointed about how many positions he lost, but that's how tight it is from being a hero and a zero, really, isn't it? From where you become a hero to a villain. And unfortunately for Murphy, pitted a lap or two later than Blaz and Physico, and he's lost 2 positions there. Massive shame there. And then Asdog, who stayed out for 4 or 5 laps too long, and he's dropped down to 7th position. But remember, he'll have fresh rubber, and I wonder if he might be thinking about trying to get this interest to the end, in terms of maybe because he can actually see that there is there's a dry patch coming. If there is a dry patch coming, and of course Jeff will be informing these guys, like saying where there's 15 minutes of rain left, 10 minutes of rain left. I would say at the moment there's probably at least 15 minutes. So. Yeah, that would get us deep into the 20, and not that bad. It's now just set a decent time there, so he's now starting to match Kumquat. Of course, Kumquat doesn't have to win this race. He is now going to extend the championship by another 3 points over Blaz. Blaz is 11 seconds away. 13 seconds away at the moment. So, so really, it's. So really, Kumquat doesn't have to take any chances. Of course, Nomabana is trying to get himself back up into third in the championship. So we've got an almighty scrap between Nomabana and Hunter for the battle for third. So that's a good. But Kumquat has just gained absolutely a huge amount of time, not that bad, out of turn 3 there. So we was on board with not that bad. He wasn't full throttle through there, so was and again now Kumquat is again coming back at him, isn't he? He's a very calm driver, isn't he? Kumquat is. Of course, we knew him as Nosy at the beginning. Of course, he's now from Peru. He's changed his lifestyle. He's become a Peruvian fruit, and he is now 8/10 behind. Not that bad, of course, in the dry conditions. That would be a DRS zone, but he's got to do it the old-fashioned way once again to get by the Renault. We've got 12 laps to go in this very frantic, very wet Sochi race circuit at the moment. And to be honest, I must admit I am very critical of this track. It's not one of my favourites in the world. It's come quite very deep into the chicane there. But I got to say that online racing here, it does produce some amazing races. We had a great race last night, didn't we? In the Elite, and we're having a truly spectacular race here tonight. Wet to intermediate conditions. We've had, of course, a dry to wet to dry to inters to full wets in quali as well. So to inters and all sorts. So we've had like all 4 seasons of the Euro here in Sochi tonight, haven't we? Great stuff indeed. So when we look a bit of variety of spice tonight, that's Kumquat. There's a 3-7 penalty there. That's how harsh these penalties are. So I haven't really been keeping check of the penalties because I ain't got the brain capacity for that. Blimey! And look at that again. Kumquat is really quick, isn't he? In the first sector out of turn 3, he's really closing in on not that bad now. And Hunter, as you can see, the gap is stabilised between Hunter and Murphy. Is still 19 seconds. Physico is now 3 seconds behind. Blas is now starting to find his feet in this race, but he's 15 seconds back, unfortunately. And I think that's too big of a gap to close down now. So he's just got to keep the car going and just pick up some points. Physico, an absolute, as we keep saying, an absolutely inspired decision there for Physico there. Brilliant stuff. That was a Jensen Button-esque. I thought that not that bad was going the wrong way though. That was a Jensen Button-esque call there from Physico. Of course, remember, these guys are not as in real life F1. These guys are, you get to engineers to inform you of what's going on and things like that. Unfortunately, the only thing that these guys got is Jeff. And that kind of says it all, really, doesn't it? And so, yeah, Jeff is not the most helpful person in the world, so you've got to think on your feet in this race. And well done to Physico. He thought he was the first man to react to the weather conditions changing, to the track conditions changing, and he felt it, and he went in for the insert tires. Brilliant stuff from Physico. Murphy, unfortunately, lost a couple of positions and tries. He's now done a 1:45.9. He's really now reeling in that Renault. That Renault is not slowing a quick line though, is he? Not that bad. Anyway, yeah, Murphy is in 5th position. Unfortunately, he dropped down a couple because of the change in the weather, and whether he actually felt that he can keep up the pace on the wet tyres. I'm not sure. Hunter, another 3-second penalty there. Hunter, of course, unfortunately damaged his front wing on the back of Roscoe, and he had to come into the pit. And that compromised his race. Got a yellow flag in sector 3. Who is it? It's Hunter. Hunter is Hunter got a problem? I think Hunter's got a problem there. He cannot. Oh no! And Hunter's got a problem with his accelerator there, and he is stuck in. He's stuck in Fernando Alonso line, because I think that's where Alonso parked his car when he on the formation lap in 2017 or 16, and that is 17. And now he's got going again, but he got stuck in neutral there. That is awful luck there from Hunter. Because he had so that is a big shame there from Hunter, and he's in the pits now. Is he coming in to retire? I probably think he will be. We're going to he's retired. So Hunter is out of the race. Double is up in the 7th position. So a strange problem there for Hunter. Gearbox issue there. He's stuck in neutral, and he is out of the Russian Grand Prix. So it's been a trying day for Hunter, and I think that will now mean that he lost 3rd in the championship, which is a massive blow. Not that bad, still leads, and the gap is back up to a 2nd at the moment. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Who is that? I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I think this might have been a rogue yellow flag there. And I think it might be for Hunter's car as well. So we are now down to 7 cars. Retirement so far. Broke Gorilla, unfortunately, broke his car on the opening lap. Sven as well, who's out of the race. And that's Hunter's car coming out of the pits there. So Hunter's car there, obviously Hunter's car's got a bit of life left in it, but that's going to cause a bit of issues. Then hopefully it'll be a ghost car. After some fool decided he wants to race rather than spectate last night. We're not mentioning any names. He's ginger, yeah, and has a pink helmet. Anyway, yeah, and yeah, so hopefully that ain't going to cause a problem like that silly ginger last night whose car did almost cause some issues. Definitely did with Vanquish and almost did with the race leader of Slim. I really grimaced when I said that. Oh my god. I thought so. Oh, and Kumquat, he almost going into the wall there. He is really pushing on, isn't he? And yeah, just going back through the retirements. Bilton is Matt's also out of the race as well. Didymus is out. Hunter has left the session. That's a big blow for Hunter. And to us, I feel his pain. And you can see that there's a bit of blue sky up there as well. And so yeah, I wonder if we might, right at the end of the race, we might get a dry track. But I'm wondering if it's too little, too late. Didymus is out of the race in the Red Bull. We've got Roscoe, unfortunately, called an end as well, and then we've got Penny out as well, but he'll be getting 2 points. Hunter has just joined us in the commentary box now. So Hunter, we've seen it on the stream there that you was on full throttle, but you were stuck in neutral and the car wasn't going. What happened there?
I think I broke my controller as I come round the corner. Well, it was weird because I was in third gear and then it like spasmed out a little bit, went to neutral, and then I was pressing the X button and it was about the 20th time it actually selected the gear, but obviously by then everyone had gone past, so it was pointless carrying on.
That's a big shame that is as well, because you was in as well, because I think you damaged your front wing on the back of Roscoe. Really, was that? Did you misjudge your braking point, or did Roscoe brake too early, or was it just?
No. I don't know what was up with Roscoe tonight, but his driving has been absolutely terrible. I think that was the fault. I'd nearly hit him about 4 times before that, and that time he just braked way too early. I don't know if he got distracted or what it was, but he broke way too early, which then caught me out, so I couldn't stop. But there was another time on that turn 2, he went to lose the rear. He corrected it, but I was going around the outside, and he just snapped his car there. And then there was a few times where one time he nearly stopped dead on the apex, coming into sector 3. So I don't know what was up with him tonight, but he ultimately messed my race up. Otherwise it would have been a better result, because I like the wet and I was feeling quite quick, so it is what it is.
Do you reckon the wet did play a part in the contact though? Do you think that Roscoe was just making sure that was just trying to just test limits, or do you think the weather played a part?
I don't really know, to be honest, and I don't really actually care now. I don't think he goes very well in the wet, and I don't think he set the car up for the wet. So I think that was the issue, because it was really quick on the straight, but it was so terrible in the corners. But it's happened. It messed my race up, but then he's crashed as well. So I can't exactly say you've had a better race than me due to this. He's out. So move on and go to Japan.
Yeah, Japan's the next race, isn't it? Do you like Japan? I think it's one of the best races to watch, but what do you reckon? Do you reckon it's good to drive?
Yeah, I first started IRC last season, and Japan was my first outing, and I got quite a good qualifying position. Unfortunately, I lagged out, so yeah, I do like Japan. I like the setup, I like the layout, so unfortunately I've lost third place today, so I'll have to try and claim it back off not that bad next week.
And Japan is a proper driver circuit as well, isn't it? Yeah, the third place is definitely up for grabs still, though, isn't it? So we still got a couple of races to go. So it's still hotly contested, isn't it? So because not that bad, had a bit of a shocker in Singapore, didn't he, in terms of not getting a result. So yeah, well, so swings and roundabouts.
It was point advantage to me. Obviously, if he wins today, then he will have a 13-point advantage, and that's how it's been all season with me, and not that bad. So it's definitely last couple of races. I think there's got to be a few battles between me and him, and we'll both be going for that third spot. So we'll see.
Excellent. Who's going to put their table at the FA Gala, isn't it? In the final race, in the season party. Thanks for joining us, Hunter. Yeah, unlucky for that. But yeah, Japan in a week's time, and I think that, to be honest, Japan's a much better racetrack anyway, isn't it? Well, in my opinion, it is anyway. We're just watching Prize at the moment, Kumquat at the moment, who is battling with Not That Bad at the moment, as we just Hunter gracefully joined us there in the comments box and just talked about his race. You can see he's very disappointed about losing third position in constructors, and that it's quite important. That is, I must admit. I think when I was racing at the start of the season, I was always checking my position, and unfortunately I was near the bottom. But when I had a good score, I was always making sure where we were in the constructors, where I was in the drivers, and yeah, it's quite an important thing, to be honest. I think it's all about pride and stuff like that, and yeah, and so really it's very important to, especially in races like this, where you can pick up a hatful of points. Of course, Asdog has had since because he had a great win in China, Asdog did, and he was being touted to maybe be in the championship fight, but it's just not gone his way this season, and it's just been unfortunate. And you can say the same for, you can almost say, and Prize comes right at the beginning of the season. We was also talking about all the what might have been. Unfortunately, Australia looked very good, didn't he? And then he was out after the second corner, really. And then in Azerbaijan as well, where he was in the wall straight near enough after the safety car as well. And it's just it swings and roundabouts here, and of course not that bad in Singapore. Unfortunately, got a DNF, and here today he's leading the race, and he's doing an absolutely outstanding job to defend and keep ahead of Kumquat, because that is just to see that pink Force India behind you and still having the wherewithal to keep in front of him has been outstanding stuff. You can see that the track is now, you can see that the track is day and night so much different, isn't it, between how it started to how it is now. And it's 1.6 seconds the gap is at the moment. Blaz is 26 seconds back. He's really struggled in the wet today, hasn't he, Blaz? As he has dropped, he's third, so he'll be up with that. But Physico is chasing him all the way in fourth position. Now Murphy in fifth. Asdog in sixth position. Hopefully he'll get some outful points, and Double is in seventh position for the Sauber team. And of course, days like this is where Double really does show his tenacity, doesn't he? Brilliant stuff from Double. Whilst everyone falls at the wayside, that man is always there, isn't he? He's it's like a Max Chilton, isn't he? He's Mr. Consistent. He always finishes races. And but anyway, let's join this battle then for the lead. We're on lap 22 out of 27 then. So there is still 5 laps to go. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think that we're going to see any dry tires anytime in this race now. But as you can see, the track is almost there, isn't it? We've only got a bit of spray now, and so the question is, though, who's this going to favour? He's changing track conditions. Not that bad. Remember, he's got a lap fresher intermediate tyres, and Kumquat has been really attacking the Renault. And 1.5 seconds gap between Physico and Blaz, so we've got to keep an eye on that as well. So we've got 2 battles in the making. Well, we've got 1 battle definitely happening, and we've got another battle which is just about to start up as well. You can see the roller coaster in the background, and you can see the gap is again down to just over a second now. And you can see that you can also see how big difference the DRS makes as well. Do you reckon that Kumquat will be through if the DRS is enabled? Possibly, but John, so I'm kind of too in against the DRS. Do you love it? Do you hate it? It's kind of a bit of both, really, isn't it? I sometimes love it, but sometimes I hate it. Kumquat is so quick out of turn 3, isn't he? Oh, and they're just getting a bit tail happy again out of the exit of turn 4. But he is so quick in turn 3. We're going to go on board with him in a minute and just have a quick look to see what he's actually doing. Is he going full throttle around that corner? Well, it's not that bad, isn't it? Lap 23 out of 27. Remember, Kumquat is as into the pits as Asdog. Asdog's into the pits. What's he going to do? Is he going to go on intermediate tyres? It's too early to go onto the slick tyres, isn't it? Let's have a look there. But he's on board with it now. There's 6/10 of a second the gap is between the front runners. But we're just going to see what Asdog goes on. He's going on the ultra soft tires, so Asdog is going to have a crack on the dry tires. Let's see what he does. He has to keep those tires up to temperature if he wants to keep the grip. So let's see as he comes out of the pits now. He's on the ultra soft tires. Remember, you got to keep the speed up, and to keep the speed up, you got to keep the temperature up. To keep the temperature up, you got to go quick, and of course, you cannot let those tires cool down. You got to keep attacking. So let's run board with Asdog now. So he's rolled the dice. You can see he's struggling for grip, isn't he? There, Asdog is. And unfortunately, I think it might be a couple of laps too early. We're joining the battle then for the lead. Then as Kumquat again is really starting to just test not that bad result here, isn't he? You can see we're almost there though. Asdog I think might be a lap or two short, but he is very close. And now Kumquat, you see, he's almost used all his errors. Not that bad. It's done very well on his errors. It's almost half a minute between second and third position. So. But I think Blas will be more concerned about the Williams up behind him. Can Physico get a podium here? That would be an amazing result. He is under 8/10 at the moment. Physico is under 8/10, so we'll go keeping on that battle as well. So look, run board then, as you can see, he closes so quickly on them. But to be honest, I did promise we would go on board with and Murphy's got a 3-second penalty. I did promise we would go on board with Kumquat in turn 3, but I forgot. And Physico is just, you can see that's the gap, and that is an actual second gap at the moment. And you can see in the background now Murphy, and he's 6 seconds back at the moment. And now then, so I think Asdog is struggling on the ultra soft tires at the moment. I think it is just too early. And look at the closing speed of Kumquat there. Has got a penalty there for Physical. Hopefully, remember, it might come down to penalties at the end of this race. I'm back on board there with Price. These two have been really hogging the stream, aren't they? But it's great to see the battle for the lead, isn't it? It's great to see any battle really. So, especially when it's the battle for the lead, of course, it just attracts more interest. But of course, if Price gets through, that will be whoa, and you can see that getting a bit tail helper there. But Price, look at that, he's right on him now, right on him. 3/10 the gap is. As they come into lap 24, and did Price go? He's gone very wide there, so he was maybe he's lost momentum there. So lap 25, about 27, this is going to be a grand slam finish, isn't it? And so now not that bad then. It's not going to be under as much pressure then. And now, so we've got 3 laps to go there, and you can see then I don't think it'd be worth changing tyres now, because we're going to gain that 25-second or so gap back for you. But maybe the track might come to Asdog, but he is now almost a minute behind Murphy, and they're just on board then. As you can see, Price is actually, yeah, he's just more confident, isn't he, under the brakes there. So and you can see that is a Sauber, so that could be where Price might be looking at the road and seeing that he might have a chance of an overtake on with lap and double, and of course so double is the first lap car, I believe. So yeah, the pace has been hot. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Not that bad there. Just steering into the slide there. A lot of oversteer, and now come down the back straight. And now it's back down to 5/10. So Kumquat has got the pace. And is DRS going to be enabled? You can see, I reckon that we're just on the cusp of DRS being enabled. This might be the breaker that Not That Bad really didn't need, because if DRS is going to be enabled, then that is going to help Kumquat catch and maybe even pass. You can see on this lap alone, Not That Bad has been really harvesting. Kumquat is at the end of his errors. He's really pressuring, and Double is just in front of us, and he is going into the pit. So Double there doing a very good thing there, just keeping out of the way, and I wonder if Double's going to roll the dice and go into the dry tyres. He's only 7 seconds back from Asdog. Lap 26, the second to last lap of this Russian Grand Prix, and it is absolutely rushing by, and as just as these two are as well. DRS is still not enabled, so, but we have got there's only 1 lap after this, and is DRS going to be enabled just before the end of this race? I think it might just be enabled, and you can see there's a drawing line appearing now, and 4-second penalty for Physico there. Physico is very close to Blas. As you see, we're on board with Physico now, so he's now got deployment there. Blas has got an awful lot of errors there, and hypersoft tires for Double there, so Double is just going to go out and have a go at 7th lap, isn't he? And I think it might be you think he might have gone the fastest lap, and you can see Physico too far back at this stage at the moment, and we're just joined the battle for the lead at the moment, and whew, absolutely amazing stuff there. As yep, sorry, I just had a notification about the England match. Anyway, I'm going back to this. Not important, to be honest. This stage of my life, the only thing important at this moment is the battle for the lead here in Russia. And you can see then that I don't think DRS has been enabled still, so it's going to have to be. Is Kumquat going to go for a lunge, or is he going to be satisfied with second position? He will gain 3 points over Blast, but remember that could gain up to 10 points if he gets in front of. If it gets in front, not that bad, and that is a huge chunk, which means that the gap will be up to 42 points. And DRS has been enabled. It has been enabled there, and this is the first man that could capitalise on it. 3-second penalty for Asdog there. Is he's on the ultra soft tires. The hard soft tires then for double, and so it's Fisico gaining. He is too far back at the moment, but he could have a go. Now Cam Price is he's in DRS range as well. We're on the last lap of the Russian Grand Prix. Who's going to win it? We don't know. And look at that, not that bad. Just going over to the right hand side and just coming back onto the race run. Prize is sorry, Kumquat might have wanted that DRS to be lovely camera shot. Look at that, that's amazing stuff. Around the Kvyat stand, or used to be the Kvyat stand. Oh, another brother's lost it. He's lost it on the final lap, and he's hit the wall, I think. And Kumquat leads the Russian Grand Prix. And oh no, not that bad. It's unfortunately he was been struggling through turn 3 all the way through that. And what's black? And then Kumquat leads the race on the final lap. He has done a Jensen Button, hasn't he, in Canada? Amazing stuff from the Kumquat today. Absolutely amazing stuff. And we're just on board then with Physico as he's just taking the water line here, and his Blast is still in front of him at the moment. You can see then that so I think that not that bad is now out of DRS range. I think we've got to keep an eye on the battle for the final podium position, but Kumquat is now leading this race with 1 lap to go, and heartbreak for not that bad then. Of course, the battle for third position then it's really tightening up now, and that is heartbreak, because he's done an absolutely outstanding job, not that bad. He's been soaking up the pressure for almost half the race here, and unfortunately at the end of it, and he is going to be raging as he's coming into. He's not coming into pits. I do feel bad for him, not that bad. But Kumquat comes across the line and wins the Russian Grand Prix. Brilliant stuff. Not that bad is second. What is the battle for Physico there going in for it? So an absolutely outstanding drive there from Kumquat, brilliantly done. Not that bad in second position. Disappointing for not that bad in the end, but I'm wondering if he had. It looks like he had quite a few penalties as well, because the interval is now for 7 seconds. Well, this battle here between Physico getting very close to the wall then, as Double finishes 7th. So good all the points there from Double and for the Sauber team as they're closing on the Red Bull, and Physico going for it. He's out of it. He's at contact. Blast there is he stays third. Physico is 4th. I think he's got a couple of penalties there, and so Blast third, Physico down a bit of a wild lunge to the final corner. Then Murphy then comes across the line and finishes at 5th position. And Asdog, who is on the ultra soft tires, had to come through in 6th position there as well. Then, so what a race then! As Asdog's the final man to just come across the line, come down the back straight now. An absolutely outstanding race. So of course the drivers do choose driver of the day, but it's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think Physico drove an outstanding race today. Really was hassling Blast all the way to the checker flag. Not that bad. Would definitely have been a prime candidate, didn't it? But unfortunately it all just went away from him. Asdog doing some lovely drifting there, isn't he? I think he wished he was on one of the old Colin McRae rally games. He's coming through now to finish 6th position. I think that Kumquat then might have to get a vote for driver of the day, because he's been absolutely outstanding today, hasn't he? And Asdog comes through to finish 6th position. Wow, what a race though, here at the VTB Russian Grand Prix. Might have to go and have a shower now. Blimey, I'm sweaty. Oh, I don't need exercise, I just need to commentate on the IRC races, don't I? And look at that, the championship leader extending his lead now by a further 10 points. It's now up to 42, is it? I know it's definitely in the 40s. Oh, sorry, 36 points. Blimey, how did I pass Mars? So Kumquat is now 46 points in front. That's almost two wins in front. But I think that this now Kunquat has really got the bit between his teeth, hasn't he? As he won that race in fine style, and I think he might be a good shout for driver of the day. And he only had one penalty as well, so from 5th on the grid up into first, not that bad. It's going to be very disappointed. Of course, he drove a really superb race, but he lost at the end. But I think he also had penalties as well. So I think that either way, Kunquat had this one covered. Blas is in a third position, so he kind of stayed very physical and absolutely outstanding driver. Really was battling tooth and nail with Blas, and he made the great call to switch from the wets to the inters so early on. Murphy be disappointed with 5th, I reckon, after a difficult day. Asdog in the 6th position, and double 7th retirements for Hunter, Penny, and Roscoe to round out the top 10. And is that the race winner joins us now in the comms box. He also gave me a little heart attack as well, because I was like, what the hell was that? Kunquat, amazing stuff from 5th on the grid up into to win the race. He did a Jensen Button-esque move in the final lap. Unbeknownst to me, that Not That Bad did have a couple of penalties, but that's still at the time it was definitely drama. But you now lead the championship by 46 points.
Yeah, I was buzzing. I was not happy when I came in and saw it was raining for the race, and I thought, oh, this is going to be the end of me again, into a wall. But no, I got this set up right, and he was Not That Bad was really quick on the straights, but in the corners he wasn't doing so well, especially that left-hander where I overtook him. So got it done, and I noticed he had a couple of penalties. He had he had 2 3-second penalties from separate occasions. I didn't have one myself, so I was like, oh crap, I better catch up with him a bit. And then I thought, oh, he's going to save everything up, and then on the last lap do what he did try to do in Belgium and sprint away on the last couple of laps. So I stuck with him, and then obviously his setup. My setup was better than his on the corner on the long left-hander, so got the job done.
It's absolutely been outstanding form in the second half of the season. I keep saying this Lewis Hamilton-esque kind of form, where the second half of the season you just had it's just been an absolute change in your race, and in your racing. It looks like that you've just completely switched it all up. It's been immense in this second half of the season, and I would say that maybe you've got one hand on the championship now, going into the final 5 races. Would you say that?
Well, don't want to jinx it, obviously, but yeah, I'm just taking it race by race. Obviously, in Japan's the next one, so hopefully it's not raining there.
Japan definitely has mixes up in terms of weather and stuff. How do you feel in Japan though? Japan's quite. I reckon it's a driver's circuit. I am quite old school, but I love Japan and driving around it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a good track. I think the bit that catches me out the most is the S's, obviously, but it is like you said, a driver's track. It's not as sort of speed oriented like a few others, and it's actually a bit more. You've got to actually have a bit of a grip on the wheel to actually get around the track instead.
Excellent stuff. Well done, Kunquat. We'll come to you first, if that's all right, Blas. Yes. Well, you it looks like you had a difficult race out there, but you still made up some positions and got on the podium in the end. But it looks like you really struggled in the first stage of the race there.
Yes, absolutely. I made a bad start, and then I lost like 4 or 5 position, and then it was hard to come back. A lot of people in front of me retiring.
Yeah, it's a bit destruction derby, wasn't it? Some of what was going on out there, and but unfortunately, I hate to bring this up, but championship wise, 46 points now with 5 races to go. How is that still achievable? You can never say never, though, can you? But how are you feeling?
I'm not here next weekend, but I don't know.
Oh, you missed
late first.
Well, that's a big shame, that is, because you're missing like one of the best tracks on the calendar.
Yeah, I know. I like it. I like Japan.
Oh, that's a shame, that is. Because I was actually looking forward to seeing you and Kunquat actually battle it out like Senna and Prost in Suzuka. But Yeah, in terms of the race, because do you like driving in the wet? Because it looked like because I've heard whispers of you're pretty good in the wet, but today you just couldn't get the handle on the car. Was it the setup?
Yeah, I used dry setup and I didn't practice on that, and that was my, I think, first race on my wheel in the race, and yeah, it's a little difficult.
I didn't practice either.
That's such a shame. That's such a shame, lads. But yeah, still a good drive to get back to get over to third, and really well controlled as well. Because a lot of drivers would have lost their head, like me. And so well done, mate. Let's come to you. Let's come to you, Asdog. It seems like you was right up there, and unfortunately, it looks like you got involved in some first, second corner melee, and you lost a bit of your front wing. I'm not sure who that was on.
Me.
Yeah, I don't know what it was on. I got off the line amazing. I gained about 3 places from 10th. I think I got up to about 6th anyway. And there was something happened in front of me, and a few of the cars slowed down, and I tried slowing down. I just tapped and lost a bit of my wing. I tried to carry on for a lap, and then when the virtual safety car came out, I thought I better pit now. And then it just went from bad to worse. So I'm surprised I finished where I did actually. So.
That just goes to show never give up, really, isn't it? Because unless
never give up.
Exactly, and you got 6th place today, which is a good result. I have been mentioning that you've been in 10th position, but that's really kind of a forced championship place there, because it's a bit of, you've had a lot of hard luck stories in this season, haven't you? You had an amazing win in China, but since then it's kind of it seems to be in the wrong place.
When I've had a clean race and I've done my own strategy, I've had good races, but you can't help when you tap someone or your strategy don't go to plan. That's when it's gone downhill for me this season. So, I mean, today from 10th I got up to 56. I had to pit on that one. It was near the back of the grid, fighted my way up to 6th, and then I had to pit again because of the weather conditions changing and no one else had pitted, so I'd already lost 20-25 seconds on the top 5, and yeah, so happy where I got, I suppose, in the end. Well, on Japan, I like that track.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, how are you feeling then for the final stretch of the season? Japan is definitely. I keep saying I love Japan. It's a driver's circuit, isn't it? What are your aspirations in Japan?
Against the people I'm racing with, I'm hoping to be a surprise podium anyway. So.
Well, definitely look out for you. And of course also doubles in the party as well. Double as Mr. Consistent you are, you seem to be there or thereabouts. You always finish. I've called you a Max Chilton in terms of you never seem to retire. How was your race today?
Better than last week.
Oh, nice.
I finished.
Yeah, unfortunately last week you took the wrong place, wrong time, wasn't it? Where there was a bit of a messy incident under the grandstand in Singapore, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But you looked in control as well. I must admit, we was on board with you on your qualifying lap for Q3, and that looked very controlled as well. Do you like driving in the wet?
I don't mind it. I prefer to be in the wet because the others can't drive in the wet. I got in the top 10 in the wet, so saying something.
One thing about Alex Double, he takes advantage today when people don't finish races. He's always there on the point.
Yeah.
I think it suits my driving style in the wet, but I'm not too keen on in the wet. Wet tyres were horrible. Inters were, I could feel them going off because I was sliding. When Alan come up behind me, I had a tank slapping and a wobble, and I thought, please go down the inside of me, because I was keeping my speed, but I'm trying to stop the car from wobbling as well.
Was that in turn 3, was it? Like the long...
Yeah.
Yeah, we was on board with you, and I thought you would drift into the wall. I was like, oh dear. I was holding my breath.
I was sliding,
Yeah,
I could feel it.
remember that pass, yeah, I saw him going outwards, and I'm thinking...
I thought, I've got to keep the power down.
Don't come back in.
And we just got to ask about the battle between Sauber and Red Bull in the constructors. I think it's down to 4 points now. Do you think you can get? Do you think that Sauber can get up into 9th for the final stages of the constructors?
No.
No, need 2 people to finish.
Okay. And of course, we got to just touch on the final stretch of the season as well. We're into Japan next week. What do you reckon about that? That's a proper old school circuit, isn't it? Are you looking forward to
Yeah,
that?
I love that track. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Ginger.
Yeah.
I like the
finish
silent
sing,
bit.
You need to hear that. You need to know English is losing.
On that note, I'm ending the stream. Anyway, thanks guys for joining us. It's been an absolutely outstanding race. We've had two great races in Russia this week, both in the Elite and in the Super. Next week, join us for the Japanese Grand Prix, same time, for both the Elite and the Super. And of course, that's going to be a track where you do not want to miss. But from us here, it's goodbye.